G'day everybody and welcome back to more mucking around with garbage trucks and teasers, and Space Engineers 2's been properly announced now, though we don't know when, but there's the stream next my Friday, Thursday for a lot of you, which I'm hoping they'll show us some of the other things. A couple of the things that I was wondering about seem a bit more clear after seeing this teaser, which is that whatever they've got at the moment is very much just creative mode. So a lot of the questions I had around things like, how are they going to handle block building? We may not have an answer for a while. But there's obviously the thing that got both Shaq and I quite excited, and I'm sure many others, which was shown in, I think, the next section of the teaser. Yeah, this bit. An actual spray paint gun. And, ooh, I didn't notice that initially. A little highlight of exactly which block you're focusing on. Because that little indicator there is actually conforming to the surface that it's on. Which is an unexpectedly cool way of indicating which block you're about to paint. Huh. Anyway, just noticed that just then. And obviously showing off more of the destruction, which I can't remember whether we'd seen much of this new destruction stuff with actual armor deformation beside it, because a couple of these bits are showing the armor deformation similar to what we've got in Space Engineers currently, which is great. Because I thought they'd shown off some of the destruction stuff before, and I don't remember it having that. Although it's all getting a big jumble in my head now of what stuff has been shown and what stuff hasn't. But yeah, this is actually not an unreasonable time for me either. Or at least unreasonable by my standards, since I'm usually up at 5 a.m. my time, because that will be 5 a.m. on Friday for me. So an hour before I usually would have started my Stationeers streams on the Friday, which is pretty cool. Hey, Tilk. Yeah. Can't wait. Yes, a Stargate mod for Space Engineers 2. That would be quite cool. I never actually got around to using the Stargate mod for Space Engineers. I couldn't think up a good scenario to use it in. And every time I was about to start looking into it, it had gotten broken by some update or something. I think the current one works though, sort of. I still have to figure out how to get the Stargate mod working in Starfield. But yeah, wonder when they're going to work on Medieval Engineers again. I don't think they are. I don't expect them to work on Medieval Engineers again. I hope they don't start working on any other games for a long while, because they're still releasing DLC for Space Engineers, and Space Engineers 2, at least from what they've shown so far, looks pretty similar. Obviously, much better visuals, much better underlying physics system, all that sort of stuff. But in terms of the gameplay that they've shown off, it looks very similar to Space Engineers circa 2014. As in, just creative mode, just smash things into each other. That's what you've got to play with for the moment. But I hope I'm a bit wrong, and I hope some of the stuff we've seen, like with the assembler and with the refinery, is actually something else. Also, the refinery from this angle does look a lot more 4 blocks tall than from the front. Yeah, there's community development of Medieval Engineers that's ongoing. Oh, thanks. Teal'c, I might give you a poke for that. Thanks. Do you like that they kept the big red? I think the big red is like a Marek baby. I don't think he will ever want it gone. But yeah, I'm very interested. I was trying to think of other things I wanted to look at in the video compared to what we'd seen last week. And one of the things I was interested in was the glass. So I presume that is looking out from that bridge, but it might not be. Because I can't see... No, this is on board the big red. That's where that is. So I was trying to see whether the glass had the same tinting effects and similar reflectivity, or whether they'd done something fancy with ray tracing or something such to make the reflections better. Yeah. Thanks, Orsa. Thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. How's it going? This is an unusually early time for me to be streaming as well. It is currently 5:15. But I woke up early, and so I couldn't get back to sleep because first it was some bird that I couldn't identify from its song. Then it was the kookaburras. Now it's the cicadas. I stopped R5 from cleaning the glass, so no scratches. Yes, Zero Nut. I know to what you reference. Thanks, Treg Bioblast. Thank you for the prime sub. Something else that feels weird. So this is our current landing gear. It feels weird, but I think they've made the right call on it. So it's 3x2, right? I think that one's 2x2. But it feels weird because I'm so used to having that little bit of heel sticking out. And it doesn't stick out here. This also looks more like a clamp than a foot, which I kind of like. It's got a bit of texture to the bottom surface. I'm interested to see how they go about implementing some sort of rebuilding mechanic with this sort of damage. So if we've had this much damage to a block, but the block still exists, how do we re-weld it? One thing I think would be really cool, I don't know if they're going to do it, but I think it'd be really cool. Imagine you have that sort of damage, and then you go and have... Oh, I got Rider out? No. And instead of just the block instantly popping into place, you have a build state pop back in, and you build state it back up. So once it first gets its first bit of repair, you get a build state merging with the existing damaged block. So not wireframe a la Total Annihilation, because that's the oldest example I'm aware of that used that style of building. I mean, actually showing the metals like it does in current Space Engineers. Because I think you could then get some epic decoration on your build by building a block, damaging it, and rebuilding it, just to show some wear and tear. Like, do I think it folds up this time? No! They haven't shown anything that, unless someone's spotted something I've missed, they haven't shown a piston, a hinge, a rotor, a wheel suspension, planets. They haven't shown any of those. No, Gordon, I honestly, I don't want them to use liquid features or stuff like that. I like I've always been really attracted to the very visceral nature of the way you build in Space Engineers. The fact that you plop down a thing, you start welding it up, and it has this big clunk, the satisfying clunk, which if you look into games like, into other survival games that have been quite successful, like Valheim, a lot of them have these really visceral sound effects that tie you to the world you're playing in. Valheim has incredibly good sound design around its tree chopping. And so you get really, really into that. You've got Icarus with its incredible sound design around its storms to get you really into, and you've got Space Engineers with its very clear and I don't want to use the word immersive, but that's kind of what it is, build mechanism. The fact that you weld something up and it goes clunk, clunk, and it fits nicely in with what you're doing really ties you to the thing and makes what you're building feel more real, feels more tangible. Whereas if I'm just welding something up and I'm seeing a welding torch and then just some liquid sloshing about, it's like visually interesting, viscerally dull. It's just meh. And it's one of those things you see in a lot of games because I think it has some aspects of it that are easier to make it more continuous. Valheim also has a great Feldtrig revenge mechanic. Yes, it does. But yeah, the clunk, exactly, Jiko. So the clunks while building just make me feel like I'm connected to what I'm doing. But yeah, I would love to see this come back with, be able to be overlaid with its own build state. Because you can just imagine having, we can go to some of the other blocks as they're demoing it. So you've got this chunk missing, and then you see the build state come back in the middle of it. And just having that sort of damage after you partially repair your ship after combat. It'll look really cool. Yeah, I talked last week about the whole welding of tiny little blocks and how it's kind of frustrating welding up even current small grids. So welding up single 25 centimeter cubes. It's a lot of welding. That's a lot of the same sort of problems that Enshrouded has. Except Enshrouded is basically creative mode building. Yeah, if it had I'm hoping the same thing, that demo laser they kept showing is also just for showing off destruction and is a creative mode tool. I'm wondering if their plan for welding might go something like, where is it? This. Where we'll have a point that our tool shows us with like a laser sight dot or even an icon similar to this, where it shows us what we're targeting at. And if it's, say it's armor, it will weld adjacent cubes or something. If it's a singular block, it'll just do that block. So like with the lights, it'll be lights. If it's with armor, it'll weld in an area. And I think that could be a decent compromise between, because what you don't want is, or there are circumstances I've experienced where I wouldn't want this, where I'd be welding up one block and it dumps components into the one that's next to it. I'm not going to want that. I'm not going to want to be welding the middle refinery and have the two on the outside take all of my steel plate as well, and I only get a third of each 3 done rather than one complete one done. But with armor, I don't think that's going to be the same. That would have the same issue because you're going to want it to do the whole area. Or yeah, Eisen, it could be something like the dial on the armor replacer mod where we've got single block, 3x3 cube, 5x5 cube. Um, yeah, true, Nev. I just honestly I didn't even expect to have per face texturing or painting in Space Engineers. I just never expected it to be a thing. I know a lot of people would love to see it. I'd probably love to see it myself, but I never expected to see it. We're still going to get full cube coloring. But with a smaller grid size, that shouldn't be as impactful because we can just slap a 25 centimeter wall in front of it and color it the different color we want. So I feel like with the tiny grid size, it makes it a bit of a moot point, except for on diagonal surfaces. Diagonal surfaces is still going to be a problem. And will still be tricky to get things. Hey, Tex. Yeah, just having a look at the teaser trailer before I start designing my control mechanism for my garbage truck. And yeah, maybe we'll get panel blocks like we currently have. So you'll have you'll have a super thin panel that you put on it. Although maybe they'll, I hope they don't ditch the panel blocks. The panel blocks are really handy. I really like the panel blocks. Even if they're the current SE thickness, like, how thick is that? Like the current... Oh, wait. Are small grids thinner? They are. Like, even if it's the large grid thickness, that's still thinner than a regular block. But small grid thickness panels, I hope they can make a thing, or they make a thing. Because that would then make, yeah, you can do even more fine detailing with. But yeah, this thing, this is interesting to me. Of course, this is also interesting to a lot of people. The 310 meters per second speed limit. So 3 times as fast. I'm also noticing that this HUD is very... I think this is what put the idea in my head initially. It is very Space Engineers circa 2014. It is very dev art. Thanks, Taz. Glad you enjoyed it. No, Spectre, it's not 1,164. What you see later in the video is kilometers per hour. The meters per second, and now kilometers per hour. I'm somewhat happy to see the kilometers per hour make a return. In Space Engineers a few years ago, you used to be able to get kilometers per hour in a rover or in a ship of some sort. And it was really, really good for telling you were going really, really fast. It was really, really handy to be like, oh, I'm going across rough terrain at 200 kilometers an hour. No wonder why my thing bottomed out and exploded. Versus, I'm going across the ground at whatever 200 kilometers an hour is in meters per second. 60? 100? I don't know. It's a lot. But yeah, it doesn't feel as fast when you're driving something gigantic and it's showing in meters per second because it's not something we think about that often. And even those of you measure in whatever it is, bananas per dishwasher, kilometers per hour still is something you can roughly figure out because you can just even call it miles per hour and it'll still kind of work. But meters per second, I just don't think about that in my daily life. I don't think about that sort of speed measurement in anything but games. But yeah, it looks like they've at least got it on the HUD for some reason at the moment, so maybe we'll see something from it. I think that's most of the stuff that I've noticed that's different to what we saw last week. And at least this does say debug gun tool. Oh, hang on. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Where is the control again? I've forgotten where it's hidden. Thought it was an adjustment and effects. There's a thing I can do to zoom in. How did I already forget that? I just use it. Oh, there we go. Interactive zoom. So there's our reflections on glass, which currently seem to be very current Space Engineers. I wonder if they'll implement something, because I can't remember if I've actually seen a thing, but people have been talking about ray tracing. Yeah, Tex, you got to always check that Steam isn't chewing up all of your bandwidth, because it likes to do that. Honestly, it's the spray paint tool. The fact that we actually have a painting tool. That's the thing that excites me about seeing this. And the fact that they're doing the stream next week. This also is very current Space Engineers with the deformations. And as jank as some of the deformations look at times, they're another thing that it's just Space Engineers. It's just nice. Also, what is going on with the weirdness around this thing right now? Has that already been damaged before they start doing that damage bit? Oh yeah, that ship's already been damaged. You can see the cockpit smashed up. Right. Like, why does... It looks like someone's applied a warp effect to this ship. Willie Ken, I've got no more info than you do. They're doing a live stream next week. So maybe they'll give us a date then? I can't imagine how annoying it would be to be Zoc and doing a live stream thing for Space Engineers 2 without being given a release date. So the poor guy, if he has to do one and he doesn't have a release date, that would be awful. That would be so difficult to do. A couple of hours of people saying, so when's it coming? And just having to sit there and go, I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. I know the answer, but I don't have an answer. I know the answer, but I don't have an answer. Be horrible. So if we get to this point for that live stream next week, be nice to Zoc, the poor guy. Thanks, Gammy Bear. Thank you for the Prime sub. But yeah, I know it would be pretty normal, but with how much they've been building up, if he doesn't have some sort of indication he's allowed to give out, oof, that'd be tough. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about these little bits in the 2. I think it'd be cleaner without it. What if all he says is 2026? I mean, that's still fine. That's an answer. I mean, 2026 is fine. That's fine. Like, it's an answer. No, they're not white patches on the ship behind it. They are not. Notice how they move with the 2. And also... blam. They are not. Yeah, Jared Trent, they have announced 2. It is definitely Space Engineers 2 from what they've said. Things. But yeah, like a vague date at best is fine. Juckton, what they've shown so far, as I said earlier, I think it looks like a robust version of Space Engineers in 2014. In terms of what's there. It's creative mode only from what they've shown. They've not shown any survival mechanics at all. They've not shown any planets at all. They've not shown any pistons, rotors, hinges at all. So a lot of those mechanics that were added during that phase when Space Engineers was having the weekly updates, they aren't there yet from what they've shown. But yeah. If you guys think of anything else I should have a look at in the video, let me know. I'll hop back. For now, I need to think of how I want to control this grabber arm. Is that with the Ronco lever system? No. No, this is going to use buttons and have very specific controls. Because I just want this thing to work. This is not a survival build. Oh, Corandry. But this isn't Paradox or EA. I don't... Can't have pistons, hinges, and rotors being DLC. Oh, can you imagine the outcry? Whew, that'd be something else. Now, is this still working? Sort of. I was thinking about the way I was grabbing with the wheels, and I think I've got the wheels around the wrong way. But I will have to fix that. I'll fix that when I, after I've set up the control mechanism now. Yeah, I'd agree, Jax. Keen's been pretty good about their DLC stuff. I know some people disagree with that, but I think some of the people who are saying that are asking a bit much. I want to try and avoid using mag plates for this, just because I think it'll look cooler if I don't. But what I was thinking of, which I'll try a bit later once I've got this control arm actually doing its actions without me having to manipulate things with build vision, is rotating the wheels so that they are this way. No, not that way. This way. So that the suspension can actually grip in a bit. And we can use the suspension as to get that flexibility and grab. So that all of the suspensions contact and we get more friction to keep the bin in place. Which I think will be better. Don't garbage bins have a slight overhead on the sides? Garbage bins have a lot of extra detail that I can't fit in at 50 centimeter grid size with the scale I've built this at. I preferred to go with something that was cleaner and simpler like this, that still very much conveys that this is this style of garbage bin. So I think it does the job. All right, so what I had set up last week was timer block to stow it. That apparently doesn't work. Hope. Why has it stopped working? A hinge lock? Instead of share inertia tensor on one of these? No. No. Alright. We start over fresh. So, positions I want. If we have a look at the video again. This was actually a good perspective, I thought. We have the spin... hang on. Let's just get back. So this one, the arm just opens up flat. It doesn't actually spin, but mine's spinning, so that's fine. The arm sits flat while it's in motion. Then the little grabber hand gets ready. So we need the ready position. And then we need the shoot out the piston position. And then what I thought was just have this next action all happen with a single press, which is grab, piston retracts, arm goes up. Oh, you're right, Darkwind. I didn't have the buttons working for the new hinge design, did I? That was on the rotors I had that. That's right. And then I thought having a drop and place action that then returns it to the ready position would also be a button. So what were those things again on the side? So we need a ready, we need a stow, a ready, and so that's that and that. Because I did not leave enough room beside my wheel to stow it the way that it's stowed on the actual truck. Thanks, Kevin Eels. Thank you for the probes up. Yeah, as in, now that I see it opening flat, I'm like, oh, my scale's a bit off. But also, I think I'll just accept that my scale's a bit off and have the thing rotate like I was planning. What was my impression of Pulsar? It was a bit of fun. Yeah, it was fun. I like that sort of co-op game. Okie dokie. Have I named all these hinges? Anything? Grabber arm bottom hinge. Grabber arm. Ooh. Wait a second. Do I... Just realized with the amount of torque on these rotors, this rotor might actually be a problem. This stowing rotor. Do I abandon that rotor now? Before I start messing with things, because it will simplify the mechanism if it just either stows flat or stows curled up. Let's get the video back just to get my scale. Just trying to visualize my scale properly. Yeah, I've got that too far forward. Like, if you divide this into thirds, first third, second third, last, the arm is basically on the third. Whereas if you look at this, that'd be third here, third here, third here. I'd need to move this along a few blocks, which then should give me enough room to have the grabber arm just go flat. So let's do that. I don't want to move the front tire forward, Eisen, because then it makes the truck too long. That messes with other scaling. Better to do this. And we add in, say, 5 more blocks. Yeah, that should be able to go somewhat flat. Yeah, I think I keep underestimating how much of a garbage truck hangs over past the rear wheels. No, I don't think this is going to be able to go completely flat. This also makes it look like it doesn't need to go back that far either. Sure, take the easy way out. Easy schmeezy. Back down. Then, just to see if I've got the space for this, or how much space we have for this. Oops. Thanks, Grammar Police. Thank you for the Prime sub. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Doing something like this. Where it's stowed. Yeah. Let's lose the rotor. Ah, poop. Oh, what did I do? Oh wow, that was weird. When I cut that out, it actually brought the undone bit back. Weird. So weird. Yeah, undo doesn't necessarily work with the moment you separate grids. I can understand why it doesn't, because once you've separated grids, there's not a lot you can do. Yeah. Okay, so that's simplified that mechanism. That's one less device to deal with, which is good. So we got bottom hinge, grab a prox, grab a distal, yep. And this named, nope. Should we name them all? Climb. Yeah. How much trouble have you had with maintaining the undo mod in Space Engineers? I'm sure you were happy when you saw it in the teaser. Do I reckon will that run into it when it steers? Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. Well, I guess I just won't open it that much. Maybe just to there? That should be fine, right? Yeah, that'll be fine. Thanks, Jimish. Thank you for the Prime sub. So, climb. One thing that I was noticing that I think also might end up being of interest to someone like you was... Hang on. Was the spray gun tool
get sophisticated
having
enough.
a little... Where is it? Was that loud? Oh yeah. Having the little highlight thing. Where it's pointing. And I was starting to wonder whether that's going to apply to the welder as well. Edge cases galore. Yeah. Yeah, undo. I can imagine there would be a billion different edge cases. The red button panel really chunky? No, the red button panel's really chunky. But it's also... Wait a second. Have they laid it down on its side, or is it actually a desktop item now? Because that's armor underneath. Also, I opened this in the wrong software. Whoops. I meant to open it in VLC. Yeah, there's... That's armor underneath, because you can see it on the armor pillar here. But what I can't tell is how far it extends this way, and whether this is just flipped, because I also can't see from the control panel there which way up or down this is. But that's a custom desk made out of the blocks. I do hope, actually looking at that control panel now, I hope this has a universal orientation that it's not a fixed one. I hope it doesn't have any text on it that says, you've placed this block upside down. I hope it's all just graphical and you can get away with placing it in any orientation and it looks okay. Really hope for that. But it does kind of look like it's on its back because there's all this extension down here, which would probably bring it up to the same height that it currently is at. Which is also why I hope that this does not have anything in it that says it's a particularly bad orientation. Because it's always annoying that this does. Because that tells you, oh, you put your cargo container in upside down again. It's like, no, I wanted it to be that way because it looks better. Unless you look closely enough at that control panel. But yeah, it does look like it's on its back. And looking at this little power symbol here and that there, almost certainly on its back. Because you're going to align the text with the warning and then the text reading off left to right. SE2 default font is Wingdings. I mean, you can get some pretty fun symbology out of Wingdings. I use Wingdings for whenever I need to put an arrow into Premiere easily. I just use, can't actually remember which character it is, but one of the characters in Wingdings is a nice clear arrow. Hey, McPhee. But yeah, it does seem suspicious that the block does have some orientation markings on it. I just hope that these control panels don't. If they do, it's not a disaster. It's just be like, oh, that's one of those little things that'd be so nice to fix. Like, so some of the other nice things I thought, some other things I think would be really nice for them to fix / change. Folders for everything. Literally folders for everything. I want folders for my blueprints. I want folders for my mods. I want folders for my admin menu. I want to search for my admin menu. Search and folders. The search in the grid list, I actually really like the way that Space Engineers does search. Some other games don't do it this way, and I really, really like that you can search like this in Space Engineers. Or like this. There are so many games that do not let you do that. But I want folders here. I want folders. I want a folder. I want a tree structure. I want to be able to go, oh, part of this grid. And I want it to be modifiable, so you can say, no, 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 move this tree to here, move this tree to here, and store it. Because it just, like, for complex grids, it'd just make it so clean. You'd be able to find stuff without having to remember that you named something a specific way. Yeah, anyway. And yes, blocks grouped by terminal and the subgrid. By subgrid in the terminal, I should say. Same with inventory. Have them grouped that way so you don't... Yeah, things like that would be lovely. There were some others I thought of, but they're escaping me right now. They'll come to me. Savable custom paint palettes? Yes. I would love, if they did add those, something like a savable custom paint palette, I would love it. I just think it'd be really cool. It's completely unnecessary. I just think it's cool when games do this. if they physicalized that. By that, what I mean by that is you have a data pad or a paint bucket that has a specific set stored in it, and you can just drop your paint bucket on the ground that has that set it to that one, pick up a fresh one, and then you can just set them and you can go back to them, and then they're physicalized within the game world. Because that's one of the things I really have always liked about the spray paint tool for Space Engineers, is that it physicalized something that didn't have any physical nature to it. I think the reason I personally like that style of things, and I know other people hate it, but I think the reason I like it is because it encourages you to have things for your decorative spaces that actually have function beyond just being, I'm going to put this bucket here because I think there should be a bucket here. But yeah, that's why I like it. I don't know. I know it's stupid. I know it's ridiculous. But I still like it. Vesic, I think I could do some incredibly ridiculous things with attempting a Skywarp in SE2 with that grid size. I don't think it'd end up looking all that different on the outside, but maybe it would, depending on what I would do with it. But I think I want to build smaller first. I want to build, like, drones that can fit through doors. Well, we haven't even seen any wheels, Agassiz, so... Or Aegisis. We haven't even seen wheels yet, so us rover lovers are still in the dark on that. Yeah, it's come up to as my first project. Yeah. I mean, but people say I'm not in my right mind, so maybe I would. Thanks, Twipped. Thank you for your 1 year. Thank you very much. Alright, let's get back on to actually doing this while I... for my next distraction, thinking about what Space Engineers 2 is. If you cannot tell, I am very excited about the prospect of what a sequel will be for Space Engineers. I'm very excited for something that a lot of other people would consider to be the bare minimum. Like, in my head, what I'm expecting from Space Engineers 2, at a point we get to play it, is a game with no moving parts other than entire grids. No survival, no planets, just block building and physics and crashing things into each other and messing around with new design elements. Like, stuff we've literally already seen in the teasers. That's enough to get me excited. So again, I know that's not enough to get a lot of other people excited, but it's enough for me. So I'm not getting excited based on hope for what it can become. It's what it already is gonna be. Because I was excited by Space Engineers when that's all it was. Do I hope it's going to be more than that given time? Absolutely. Do I think Keen can pull that off? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. They've already done it. Do I think a lot of people are going to buy it? Like, if it is what we've seen in the trailers, do I think a lot of people are going to buy it, play it for an hour, and then go back to playing Space Engineers? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. But I guess it waits to be seen what gameplay they've got in it for us so far. And yeah, it's what's the point of Lego? That's such a good way to put it, Codon. And thank you for the 39 months as well. Yeah, if you like playing with Lego and it gives you the same physical satisfaction of playing with Lego, then it does what it needs to do on the tin. Or it has always done what it needs to do on the tin for me. And I've said this a few times in the... I'm just adding some extra blocks here so that if I accidentally delete a piece, it doesn't separate the whole lot for me again. I'm ready to be burned again. The last time I was burned by being excited by a game was KSP 2. And I decided I'm ready to be burned again. I'm going to let myself get excited. I'm not going to expect anyone else to get excited, but I'm going to let myself get excited. Why, Chrome? Why do you crash Twitch? Don't know who to blame. I'll blame both. I got any hope for NPCs in it? At the moment, no. Carmock, as someone who previously worked on Space Engineers 2, I'm hopeful for it. Carmock, do you not work for Keen anymore? Are you still working for Keen, or are you... Oh, you changed up 2 months ago. Oh. Congrats, I guess? Yeah, like, I think it's very easy to understand where the criticism of any sequel might come from. I'm going to get rid of these timer blocks because I don't know what they do anymore, and I don't really want them there. And start laying out some new ones. Let's delete these buttons because I don't know what they do either. Don't need these ones. Actually, I'll leave those ones, they're useful. Decided to move on to a smaller project. Got burnt out. Oh, that sucks, man. Hopefully, the new project is going well for you. Okie dokie. So, where have I got my timer blocks on here? Oh, you're working for Bohemia. I didn't know Bohemia did small projects. The only stuff of Bohemia's I've ever played was Armor. I think. Yeah. It's a game called Silica. I've heard of Silica. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. Having trouble trying to place it. Alright, so... how many positions did I have? I had stowed. I had ready to grab, and then shoot out and grab, then retract and empty, and then ready should work from there as well. RTS FPS blend. Oh yeah, I think I must have been sent an email about it from somewhere. That's how I came across it. And I went, oh, much as I would probably enjoy playing this game, it's not really something I would play on stream. And then we have stowed. Ready. Stowed, ready. Grab. And empty. Have we looked at Soul Mask? Yes and no. Yes, I've looked at it. I was going to take a closer look at it, but now I don't want to really play any Unreal games until I have a new CPU. I'm pretty sure my CPU is causing me to have blue screens during Unreal games. Come the capitalization happened because I decided to do this one in all caps. Wrote this one before I even realized that I'd not done it in all caps. And then decided to make this one horrible just for the sake of it. And then just decided to make them all different because then they're all different. No, Intel. Intel is the one that causes the crashes during Unreal games. For some reason, the Unreal Engine is particularly bad for causing the microcode crashes, whatever that we want to call it, from the 13th and 14th gen processors. Okay. So, let's start setting up stowed. DB stowed. It's a programmer who is used to coding conventions. This hurts me. Yeah. Tex, I'm pretty sure Astroneer is Unity. I'm pretty sure it's Unity. It's certainly got the Unity aesthetic. Oh, is Astroneer Unreal Engine 4? That surprises me. Anyway. Huh. I've never played Astroneer. It just... Looking at it, it was going to do... I was not going to be able to enjoy it for more than an hour or two. Yeah, come off. It really has the Unity look. Really has the Unity lighting look. Alright, stowed. So stowed needs to do things. It needs to retract the pistons. And what else does it need to do? So stowed is retracting the pistons. It is moving the... grab a large hinge. What do I call these ones? Arm top hinge. Arm top large hinge. Yeah, Ada, that's the quickest way to put me off from ever playing Astroneer. Honestly. Saying building in Astroneer is a bit like Satisfactory. Ugh. Satisfactory and I did not get along. So grabber arm top hinge, top large hinge needs to go to -90. Now, do I want to just use reverses? I could probably just use a reverse or a set velocity. So I might just set velocity to -5. See if I can use set velocity so I don't have to set up different limits and mess with the limits. Text Factorio and Satisfactory. So I like Factorio when you turn it into an RTS. You can't turn Satisfactory into an RTS. Set velocity -5. Confirm. Then I need to set this hinge also to -5. Oh no. This... Oh no, wait, this hinge just has 2 positions as well, doesn't it? Hmm? You stuck? You might be stuck. Huh? That's not healthy. Why is it doing that? That'll be why. Forgot that these two both needed to do the thing. Oopsie. Okay. TB. Actions. Grabber. Top. These all need to get set to velocity of -5. Okay. So if I then get this to trigger that timer, we can see make sure that things are working. Cool. Why am I not using square pistons? Because I constantly forget that they exist. Like, if you ever see me not using square pistons, I've just forgotten. 11 years of habits are hard to break. Well, pistons haven't been around for the 11 years, but you know what I mean. It's hard to break some of those habits. So those are +5. Actions, bottom. Velocity 5. It's a mod that removes the round pistons. Yeah. I could make a mod like that. Thanks, Altered Bulb. Thanks for the Prime sub. Hey! Okay. We're now back to this point. So that's the pistons moving, that's the big hinge moving, that's the top hinge moving, that's the lower hinge moving. Now we've just got to do the hinge for the grabber part. And for stowed, I think what I probably want to do to keep clear of that wheel is have, I think for these ones, I'm going to have to set go to specific points to make them work the way I want. Because what I'm thinking I might do here, instead of having it collapse flat, is maybe nope, that's the wrong way. Maybe try and collapse them in. What's the difference between the square and round pistons other than shape? Nothing. Oh, I'm not going to be happy with that, am I? Alright, fine. I think what I just need to do is make sure that this is open enough. That it can get around the bin, but it's closed enough that it's not going to stop the wheel from turning. Let's check that position. Think that'll be okay. But I do think I might also be best off moving it down another couple of blocks. Might hit if it wobbles. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. See how it looks if I move it down that far. Actually, I think that kind of works still. Position-wise? Yeah. So now this can probably open up even wider, which is ideal. If that opens to there, that is as close to flat as I think I'm going to get them. And that's well clear of the wheel. I could even go wider than that. Yeah, if we're 20 and 20 degrees, that seems pretty good. Is that going to be clear? Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Stowed position would be first hinge at 90, second at 0, right? To tuck into itself. Yeah, but there's going to be overlap between the two sides. That's what made me go, oh, wait, I probably shouldn't do this. Because this side would have to overlap this side, and then trying to get them to fit together nicely. I think we'll just go 20-20 for the stowed position. Means it looks pretty flat. It's obviously not perfectly flat, but it's spread out like it is on the real truck. I think it works. And then grab position should just be the reverse of that. Let's get a button to reverse all of these hinges so I can set up their limits and just keep flopping them back and forth and see where it sits nicely. I need to make a group of all those hinges though. Do I need to share inertia tensor with all the subgrids? No. The leaving some of the jiggle is on purpose, weirdly. I want the jiggle because the jiggle ends up looking like the little shake that the guys often do with the bin when it gets to the top. Okay, so what we want is this one probably not to go. I need to put a bin in the middle. And I need to move this one out. And move this one down. I just need to see what the closed position is. Thanks to Fraggle. Thank you for the Prime sub. There's also potential disadvantages to using share inertia tensor. The big one being its extra mass. And I had to switch over the mechanism from rotors to hinges last week because the mechanism I was building was not strong enough. Oh boy, some people just gotta have jiggle physics. Well, you know. Depends what style or something like that. Maybe that just goes to 60. In fact, I'm kind of wondering whether this end one needs to move at all. That's 60, and that's goes to 30. Wait, that one's minus 60. That one goes to minus 30. Is that close enough? No. Also, I'm wondering if the segment of my arm is too long. Thanks, Raptor. Thank you for 5 months. Jiggle all the way, yes. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a yellow garbage truck. Yeah, our bins don't have anything that the trucks grip, as you can see here. Nothing to grip. It's all just rubber on plastic that gets the grip. Like, this is literally... This video was taken somewhere that's about 70 kilometers from me. The video showed the arms go behind the bin. Yeah, they kind of go, they wrap all around the bin, don't they? It does kind of grab it on both sides, though. It doesn't really fully go behind it. It's kind of squishing on both sides. But obviously, there are some things that I just have to accept are going to be different here. Yeah, I think this segment might need to be shorter. And this segment can then be longer. Because that's not grabbing yet, and I want to get them closer. In fact, this middle section can probably be narrower. That might be better. Let's see if we can do that. Have I got a copy of this, pretty much? Yeah. Might need to move the bin. I love that I can do this. And the wheels turn, and we move the bin. Yeah, there is a vertical plate there, isn't there? Just there. I don't know what that's for. Because it doesn't the bin doesn't come in contact with it at all. I wonder if it's to prevent stuff tipping out onto the side of the truck. So if the bin happens to be grabbed too high, then the stuff will slide down that into the hopper on the truck. I wonder if that's why it's there. Also, I may have done a dumb. I have definitely done a dumb. Should have left a block on these. Hopefully that'll let me place this. Yeah. No! Oh, why? Alright. I have to detach these. Should also probably let Charlie out of the shed since she very much wants out now. Might just check the baby monitor and see if Toby's awake. Before I go and let her out. Ah, cool. Thanks, Fion. Oh, sorry, Phoenix. Why did I misread this today? Read that today. Yeah. I figured it was to prevent spills. Okay. The small child is awake. The dog can be let out. 1 second, everyone. I'll be right back. And the horse has been released. I don't think I was in its path, no. I think the this block above was in its path. Do I have any immediately handy pics of my gigantic dog? Maybe? Search from me in the kennel. There you go. Perfect. There's one picture. There's another. They're all flattering so far. Ah, here we go. There's a good one. Charlie's 3 now. Yeah, she's 3. She's almost getting to an age where she might start to become more calm. I don't believe it, but she might. let's get rid of these. Open, let's drag the bin back in. No, she's only managed to turn off my computers once. I've rearranged things in my shed since that time. I'm no longer plugged in through the socket that she switched off. Charlie is a lot of different breeds, as far as we can tell. She's a rescue, so she's a bunch of different things. She's a happy dog, that's what I can tell you. And she's very, very patient with the toddler. As he has become fond of trying to ride or sit on her or crawl all over her when she's lying on the ground. Alright, here we go. Okay. That's about an acceptable level of clanging. Let's, oops, wrong end. Let's give 5 degrees less on these and see if that still grabs. No. Okay. So we're pretty much at the right point then. If I go to 57. Yeah, there we go. Because once I spin the suspensions around, in fact I might try and do that now. Pop these off. Then we'll set the angles up with this. Nope, wrong way around. Do. And then I will need to make sure that... Oh wait, the parking brake should still be on this grid. Oh. Okay, I need to go and grab a bit closer. Now, the question is that gripping enough to lift this up? Nope. No, it is not. I believe, Phoenix, most people that I've met have called them spoodles. Yes, Squid, this is live. Just in case you wanted confirmation. I don't know that it's liking these wheels being right next to each other. Cocker Spaniel and Poodle. So, Spaniel, Poodle. Spoodle. rather than combining the other part of Cocker Spaniel. Let's try that again. Nope, I'm not in the right spot with the bin. Okay, is this grabbing well enough? Come on. Hello? I think hinges going past their limits. No, it's not a torque issue, unfortunately. It's a hinge limit issue. When a hinge gets pushed past its limit, it doesn't apply its torque properly. To get back, you have to mess with the limits to force it back into place, and then it'll work normally. I don't want to put a bar on the bins, because the bins around here don't have bars on them. And I was able to get this to work before, so I should be able to get it to work now. Just got to think about how to do so. And I wonder if upping the strength on these wheel suspensions will work. And yeah, upping the friction too would probably be a good idea. Yeah, let's try again. Grabby, grabby. So 2 of the 3 sets are grabbing on that side, and possibly all 3 on that side. The rest of the arm isn't actually coming in contact. Strength on this is set to a fair bit. Why don't we up that to max? Because now we've got the suspension to give a little bit. And I might also... give myself an extra 2 degrees on each side. Or maybe not, because that started a lot of jiggle. Okay. Come on, lift this time. Ah! Nuts! Felt closer though. I do wonder if this doesn't work, if I have to use the wheels the other way around. I was hoping this would be better. So far it doesn't seem to be. Yeah, the wheels have parking brake on. I'm pretty sure. I'll make sure. But I'm pretty confident these still have the parking brake on. No, they don't. That would explain a lot. Alright, let's try that again then. Come on, work for me. Come on. I hate you. I hate you like this. Oh no! Well, what happened? I'm now wondering how on earth I managed to make this grip so well last week. So I honestly would have thought that this would have given me more grip, not less. Guess these are the things you learn when you're messing around with stuff like this. No, I don't want to cheat with little grooves in the bin. No, 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 no. Don't wanna. Friction is maxed, yes. Friction is maxed. Suspension strength is relatively high, but I could probably make it even higher. I want this to be gripped by the wheels. And also, a lip's not going to help. I'd need 2 lips. Thanks, Throland. Thank you for the prime sub. I'd need one for helping lift it up and one for stopping it from flipping out, from slipping out at the end. Does the real one also grab from the front? Yep. Always. Because that way the lid opens the correct way. Otherwise the lid would open in the way. Hey, grabby, uppy, over. Oh, this is so much pain. Because every time I have to do that, it then causes that sort of nonsense. The arms go around the bin, but they actually only grab onto the sides. They don't grab onto the back. We looked at that bit closer before, and they don't actually grab onto the back at all. They're rigid enough that they can't. Need a higher friction bin. Yeah. I have maxed the friction, though. I'm gonna try and let this get closer to that state where it jiggles a whole lot. Also, I might share inertia tensor those ones. See if that stabilizes them so that the bin's not going to jiggle as much. This could be a problem. It does not like share inertia tensor on those. Yeah. Wow. Why is that? Why is enabling show inertia tensor there such a problem? It's so weird. Help shape the rubbish out better. Yeah. That's so odd. Yeah. The wheels very much said no there. Alright, I'm gonna go back to... I'm gonna copy this again. Yeah, just leave that. Whatever. We're just accumulating previous versions. I think we're gonna go back to the wheels being the other way around, because I was able to get the grip to be better that way. Oh, wait, no. Before we do that, one last thing to do. Turn the strength way up. Because maybe the strength isn't allowing enough grip to be had. Two by two wheels might be better, yeah. That was one other thing I had initially thought of, but I've just forgot now. That's a good idea. I'll give that a go next if this doesn't work. Because 2x2 wheels might have better grip. Just because they stick out further. Well, that seems happy. Well, that went better. The advantage of wheels this way is you can turn the wheels on and yeet the pin out of the grabber at the end. Huh. Just needed the suspension strength up. Do it a few times. Now, let's fill the bin with some rubbish. Where are my plushies at? Oops, wrong button. Okay. That was not dropping in the way I wanted it to. Vox armor plates are the same mass as full armor blocks. And full armor blocks have more reliable collisions. So replacing them with plates would not help. It would probably make things worse, I reckon. There we go. Bin full of plushies and some that have fallen out the side. We'll just ignore those. Here goes. Get rid of that. And now let's get rid of all the... Let's do a quick save. Let's get rid of all the plushies. Sort by block count. There are a lot of plushies. There we go. Plushies cleaned up. New AFK machine. This might make it into something. But my current goal is just to make it into a functional garbage truck device and then make a video from it and then see what Toby's reaction to it is. Toby being my son, for those unfamiliar. Should the garbage be smoking like that? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You can always trust a person who says it's fine in the most high-pitched voice that they can manage. That's how it works, right? Okay, so I now need ready position. No. So we got stowed. Stowed was in the middle of getting the... Stowed doesn't work. Why stowed no work? Oh. How did my stowed control break? Oh, because of the things getting... Oh. Because of this. Because of me detaching the arm. They're not groups that I was using, they're individual blocks. I should have set everything up as groups. So that I can mess around with moving parts. Grr. Okay. I need to make a group for everything. Let's do that. So we've got grabber hinges, we've got bin arm pistons, then we want grabber arm bottom. Grabber arm top hinges. Grabber arm top hinge large. This way, if I have to remodel any parts of it later, I'll be able to just, the timer blocks will still work. What became of the bulldozer that was pushing plushies around across the screen? I've still got those videos, I just haven't done anything with them. Because I haven't figured out a way... I haven't figured out how to make them work as a Be Right Back or transition screen yet. I think the next time I make a new Be Right Back or transition screen, I will actually do the editing of the videos on stream as well to force myself to actually do it. Okay, so the pistons are done. Bottom hinges. They were set to positive velocity. Top hinges were set to a negative velocity. That should do it. And these ones should be set to a... What do these ones need to do? They are positive. Okay. So if I grab this thing, I'm like, I put it back down. Let's get this stowed, ready to drive on to the next bin. There we go. It's ready. Yeah, Jockton, I think a lot of those launching mechanisms in the old days of battleships and early days of aircraft carriers were kind of cannon-esque, like what Wasted's been trying in Wrong Way Out. That is true. One sec, just filling up my water bottle. Okay. So, ready. What's the... Pistons out, I think. Ready would be pistons out, or ready would be... Positions do I really need this thing to be in? Without this rotating, I may not need the ready position. It might be a different one. Because in this position, I should be able to shoot out, grab the bin, and then flick it up and over. Like from here, I should be able to go shoot that out. Flick that up. Never mind. I forgot. Yeah. That's the ready position. The pistons not deployed. Because then what I can actually do is use a sensor to make the arms grab as soon as there's a grid in play here. So I can put like a... I can put a sensor in here. As soon as the bin's within the arm's grabby range, the arms grab. The sensor turns itself off. The sensor only gets turned back on once I release the arms. So I could use an event controller to do that. Could work. Yeah, I think ready should be that position. Although I think that's now a bit higher than it should be. It's probably okay. Alright, so ready is... time block... TB ready. Set up actions. We've got pistons set to retract. We've got grab arm bottom hinges. We set to negative. Grab arm top hinges set to positive. The big hinge should be set to negative. And these guys should be set to positive, I think they are. Let me just make sure that's right. Yep. Okay, so if I just mess with these things and make sure they're all set in weird places. And then we trigger the ready timer block, we see what happens. Yeah. And stowed. And ready. Yay! SE2 trains in vanilla. Hash. No. Big doubt. Big doubts. Thanks, Sungani. Thank you for a year. Thank you very much. Big doubts on that. I think that's incredibly unlikely. Again, we haven't even seen wheels. No wheels. None. No wheels. None at all. Yep. Been pointing that out too, Black Sheep. I mean, they've confirmed it's called SE2, so when we'll get our hands on it, unknown. They've confirmed it's SE2. Oh, that's a better reflection bit of what's in the windows. Can't tell if there's more or less detail than what there is in or how much different level of detail is in the reflections to what we've got now. They will need planets, or where will they put the water? You can put water inside a ship. Might slosh around a bit. In fact, that would be really fun. But I reckon that will not be possible. Even when we do get water. I so wonder what degree of interactability we'll have from the water. Oh! That's how I could make this sensor work. When the pistons are set to extend, the sensor turns on. When the sensor detects it's close enough to this bin, it switches the pistons off and allows the hand to grab. Yeah. I mean, they've shown stuff before that's liquid water. Not in the teasers, though. Just in the stuff on Jan's Twitter page. Is this one of them? I think that... Yeah, this stuff. This is V-Rage 3. So they've shown this. They haven't shown it in the context of what they've revealed. Like, they haven't shown it with regards to their announcement of Space Engineers 2, but they have shown this as V-Rage 3. It's not water, it's blue soup. I mean, it's the best water I've seen in a physics-based game with voxels. In fact, I think it's the best water I've seen in a physics-based game. And it is gel-like, yeah. Yeah, I don't have the dam video handy. There's this one, which does look a lot more water-like. There's a video where they showed off a dam being exploded. But I haven't found that one on Yarn's Twitter yet. The posts are older now. And Twitter is awful, so it's kind of hard to find those details. I mean, there's a picture I've just found of a dam. But I'd have to actually find the... I know there was a video of it. I'm trying to find it. Ada? This one? No. Back in April, we've got caves that they've shown off before as a thing. Got the wrong thing up. And, oh, here it is, I think. Maybe. So that's deleting a whole dam. And the water propagating out. That still obviously looks quite gel-like. That's not the pressure differential one. That's still not the one I'm looking for. I'm deliberately not having the... Oh, come on. Oh, here it is. Found a picture of it, at least. Maybe it wasn't a video? But that's a picture of them flowing at different velocities based on the pressure behind the dam. Yeah, I think that's it. You know, there's heaps. If you go back, like, Jan was posting stuff in 2023 as well. There's a lot of extra stuff there. I've been trying to collect some of the videos, but it's, yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, Spirited G, it would stand to reason that the new blocks are watertight. I forgot about that video where they showed the water flowing through the channels in grids. So, yeah. I already see a wrong way series with rotor paddle boats and water skiing. I mean, the sort of water that Keen are aiming for is the right sort of water. Actually trying to do something with it that allows you to interact with it, rather than a flat plane across the entire planet.
Hello everybody and welcome.
Yeah, force interaction, water wheels, etc. I would love to be able to use power that way, but even if we can't use power directly generated through a rotor, so it would be quite cool if you could transfer energy from one grid to another, or from the world space to a grid via spinning of a rotor and turn it into a turbine, a generator turbine. But even if we can't do that, if we are able to pass water through a magical generator block, that would still be cool. Do you think we'll have airtight voxels? No, I don't think so. I don't think we'll have airtightness at first. I'm really setting my expectations of it being SE 2014. I don't think we'll have airtightness. So we're going to talk about the overaction in response to the bridge and wrong way out. That was quite a reasonable reaction, I thought. Maybe. Those times when you're like, if I shoot at him, I'm going to miss with this gun, but I'll use this one and then I'll probably hit near him, and then you just outright kill the guy and it's like, oh, well. It's got to be fun. Yeah, Gordon, that's why I didn't go to it. All right. We are many steps closer to this being functional, so maybe the grab needs to just start the pistons and start the sensor. So what sort of distance? We need to get an antenna on this, although I'm in creative mode, so I probably don't need it. So show on HUD. Show sensor field range. There we go. So at what point should the bin get grabbed? Did they have O2 in the first SE launch? I don't think they did. Obviously, you're relying on 10-year-old memories for me here, but I don't think they did. I think airtightness was relatively late added. And then was removed at one stage and people got upset about it, and then they brought it back. Is that a good spot to grab at? Yeah, that seems pretty good. So let's set this field sensor range up. Left and right can come right down. Bottom and top can come down. I can go to minimal and then front. I need to set this to the correct distance. So what I'll do when this detects the bin, go there. We go that far. 1.7. That seems pretty decent. Are those wheels powered for pulling the bin in? No. No, the wheels are just sticky bits. I needed friction, so I used the wheels for friction. So they can grab on and grab hold of the bin. Yeah, okay, Goba, that's what I'm working on. The ready position's there. I drive up alongside the bin. I've only moved the bin in here for the moment because I needed to see roughly where it needed to sit so that the sensor can be functional. But basically, the bin would probably be back out about here as you drive along to it. And then the pistons will extend. Once the sensor gets triggered, it's going to turn that, it's going to set the velocity of the sensors to 0, the pistons to 0. So setup actions, groups, set velocity 0. Confirm. In fact, that means I'm going to have to change something. Setup actions. This, instead of being a retract, needs to be a set velocity. Set velocity of -1. What velocity do I have them at the moment? Yeah, 1. That's fair. Hey, Kel. Thanks for 32 months. Yes, it is nice that the latest teaser was not a teaser, it was an announcement that at least it is saying it's Space Engineers 2, even though they didn't say it. Oh, you found it, Gordon? Aha! Thank you. Here we go. Here's the video. See, that looks less gel-like, even on the stuff that's on the ground. So I wonder whether there's some optimizations and other art passes and things that'll happen to it to make it less gel-like. Reminds you of Descent. Yeah, I can see that. Does feel a bit Descent in that cockpit. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for finding that. Okay, so set the pistons to 0. And then grab with the grabber hinges, which would be set velocity to -5. Okay. And then we want it not to detect players, but to detect small ships. Hooray! And then it can turn itself off after that. In fact, can the sensor turn itself off? Let's see. Okay, the bin is just... No, the bin has not jiggled itself out of the range. Bin's outside of the range. Sensor is on. Sensor is off. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So, now we need the action to extend the pistons to go and grab. So grab will be timer TB grab, set of actions, groups, pistons, set velocity 1, confirm. And we're also going to sensor, make a group. Bin grab sensor. Sure, why not? Then I can go actions, groups, toggle block on. And this does the grab. So the bin is set out a bit further, which is good. That's where it should be. Then we can click grab. Yeah! Yes, we are aggressively hugging the bin. It works. Sensors back off. And then for the empty the bin, we pull the pistons in and we flip over the big hinge. So let's give it a go. Time block. DB empty. Setup actions. Groups. Pistons get set velocity -1. And grab arm top hinge large gets set velocity of 5, I think. And that's it. Yep. Now obviously these buttons are not going to be how this is controlled later. This is just to make sure I've got an easy way to control them for the moment. So empty. Let's see what happens. Yay! And then I need a replace timer. I need a thing that's going to put it back down where it was, which is pushing the pistons back out again. That's the thing I'd forgotten to set up. Because ready puts it down here. Oh. Oh, okay. Ready is not the one I use for that. Good. Good to know. Ready puts it there. That ready's bad. Ready let go of the bin. Oopsie. The pistons do have shear inertia tensor on them, yes. Some of these things do, some of them don't. Some of them really don't like having it. Return bin. Timer. DB, return bin. So this will... Groups. I think this might need multiple timers for this one. Because I want to lower the bin back down and then push it back out with the piston before letting it go. Why does the scale feel weird? Because it is weird. I'm not building this at Space Engineer scale, I'm building this at bin mechanism scale using small grid. The scale began with setting the scale for this mechanism. And everything grew from there. That's why the scale feels weird. Because this is my engineer. That's how it had to be done. Yeah, I think bin return needs 2 timers. So return bin 00, setup actions. Groups will be the big hinge, set velocity to -5. And then start the timer block. Where is timer block? It will be this one. Start. Now the delay on 01 probably doesn't need to be too long, but maybe we'll go 3 seconds for the moment. Then what it can do Oh wait, I need 3. Unless I use event controllers. Maybe I'll use an event controller instead. That might be better. Yeah, let's use event controllers instead. We'll switch them on and off with the timers for the start and the end of the sequence. I think that'll be better. So what I'm thinking is, instead of using a timer to wait for the sequence to reach this point, what I'll do is I'll detect this hinge using an event controller. When this hinge reaches a certain angle, the pistons will extend. When the pistons reach a certain distance, the grabber will release. And then I can click my stowed or ready command to bring it back into the right spot. Why do I see a new stream screen with this emptying Capac clones out of it? Because that'll probably happen. That is almost certainly going to happen. Because why not? What? No lever controls? Yeah, no. I'm wondering how many streams I'll put up with the lever controls in Wrong Way Out before I just build a button panel that does all the things. And does them accurately and moves the levers to the correct position. In fact, that's what I'd probably do. I'll have buttons that move the levers to the right spot. Rather than actually moving the levers with grabby hands, I'll just have buttons that move the levers to where I need them to be. Okay, so event controller, so EC return bin hinge, EC return bin pistons. So this will be rotor hinge angle equal to or greater than 85, top large hinge. Select actions, groups, pistons, set velocity 1. So that gets toggled off. And the pistons one will be piston position percent equal to or greater than 80. Oh, we're going to 95. Hopefully then we won't knock over the bin every time. And select actions. We will then this will be ready. Trigger now. Okay. So my 2 ECs. Uh-oh. What did I do? Did I just do show block and... Oh. Block off. I did click the wrong button. So my 2 ECs. When do I need them to turn on? It was fun to play around with the levers, and it was fun to use that style of control scheme. I just wonder how much jostling around I'm willing to put up with with the levers before I'm like, look, I don't know if this is fun anymore. Okay, so just thinking this through. So the timer block should turn on the 2 event controllers, which I'll make a group of. P, return bin, set up actions, groups. Toggle block on. So it's going to start that hinge. It's going to toggle those event controllers on, which then will trigger their actions. And then, as part of ready, which is going to be triggered, actually, no, I'm going to put it as this one. Set up actions, groups, toggle off. So they always get turned off rather than if ready doesn't get triggered somehow. Cool. This should now work. So let's go and make sure the bin's close enough. I don't think it is. That should be close enough. So, let's grab it. Grab. Empty. Oh yeah. And return bin. Well, I think I know why. That's why. And let's go. Have the event controls been turned off? Let's check. Yes. Okay, so the timer's worked. I probably need to extend that time a bit, actually. Let's go 6 seconds. So we'll go back to empty again. And then we go return bin. And I might have set these to be going the wrong way as well. Let's check. I set it -5 right now. Oh no, I set the trigger the ready piston. Ready. Why does ready not work? Huh. Why did ready not work? Was the sensor back on already? Yeah, I wonder if the sensor had turned itself back on. Let's try that again. Let's see if I can watch a bit more closely. Grab. Empty. And return. Does seem like maybe it's... Or is it not getting triggered? Because the pistons... The hinge... Oh no, the pistons are getting triggered, so that's all happening fine. Then it's the second EC that should be triggering the timer. I wonder if it took too long. Yeah, the extension of the piston, the grab command turns the sensor on. So the sensors won't be turning on. So it's not the sensor, it's for some reason not triggering the timer block properly, which makes me think that my timer block is still too short. So let's extend that out to an unreasonably long time. And go back to this. Empty the bin. Return the bin. Yay! It worked. Ooh. Oh, I have an idea. EC. Pistons, set up actions. Instead of triggering that, let's trigger return bin 1, start, and return bin 01 is going to turn off the bin ECs, and it's going to trigger the ready. Trigger now. Because that should give it a chance to stabilize before it lets go. And AC pistons, select actions. It's not doing the other timer, no. It's just doing, yeah. Okay, cool. This is kind of working. You should see the number of bins that are tipped over after a typical bin day. This is working. Oh, that's probably too far out. I mean, it's not everyone, so it probably shouldn't be all of them, but... Empty. And return. Uh-oh. Why did that trigger so soon? Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, I wanted it in that position. Turn bin. Why is it triggering so soon? Pretty sure when they designed the real one, they tipped over many, many more than you have had the time for yet. Yeah, Vox, you're probably right. You are probably right. Can anyone think what I've done that did this? I've clearly messed something up in the timings. No. Why? So we go from ready. The grab still works. Something's up with the bin return. That grab. Then go on empty. Did I mess with one of the event controllers? Did I mess with the wrong event controller? Hinge angle less than 85 degrees. It's currently at 50 degrees, yeah. Less than negative 85 is right. And the piston one. Threshold 95%, which should be fine. Return bin. Yeah, it's releasing them at... I'm triggering that timer, aren't I? At the start of this. That's the problem. Remove. There we go. Found the issue. Found it. Let's try again. Grab. Oh, I love that it doesn't even have to be perfectly aligned. It's got fudge factor. Oh, so close. That was so close. Ah. Now, what does the return do? Is this the problem? I mean, sorry, what does the ready do? The ready does the pistons at the same time. I think ready might need to do the grabber first and then do the pistons so that it releases it before it pulls the bin. I think it's pulling the bin away a bit as it gets to the ready position. So I possibly want to do even more. I probably don't want to use the ready function at all for putting the bin back. I want to set up the whole sequence independently so it does do things in the right order. So let's have a look at where we were up to with it. So the EC is the last bit. So the pistons, what was this doing? That then hits return bin. So timer block was then just hitting ready. So instead of hitting the ready timer, we can start the ready timer, but also set velocity to -5 on the grabber hinges. I think -5's right. Oh, is it +5? Yeah, it's minus. Oh, that's +5. Okay. I need a random event where it completely destroys the bin. Maybe for later. Pop that down. Test again. Here we go. And grab. And empty. And return. And the timer block is set really long, so this is going to take a while. We have to wait 10 seconds, I think. There we go. So, TB, ready, 1. It works. This is properly functional now. Yay! Yes! Ah, that is relief. Finally have it there. Then stowed. And then we can drive. So if I put put a couple of bins out. Let's see how this goes. Move that. I'm going to try and drive this thing, and I'll set up some controls on the hotbar to do the things that the other ones, those buttons are doing. Now, my bins are going to need to be separated by more than the ones are in the real world, but hey, if I can even make it work at all, it's pretty cool. And then we go TB. So we have stowed on 1. We have ready on 2. We have grab on 3. Empty on 4. And then return on 5. Oh yeah, I'm sure the proper trucks have an actual camera. Given we don't have an ability to project a camera to an LCD, I will probably still use a camera, but I will also probably just use third person. Which they obviously don't have, and would be superior in a lot of cases. I don't know what distance I need to be from the bins. So this is going to be interesting. I reckon this is probably about right. That looks pretty lined up. Oh, I reckon this might be too far. Let's try and yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so lining up. Stop. Ready. Moving into a better position. Have Twitch crash in Chrome again. Handbrake on. Grab. Empty. Put the bin back. Need to make a street and a curb, yeah. I've been thinking about that. Oh, one tipped over. Let's see how we go with the other 2. Yeah, you can go full Space Engineers and use a projector to align the bin, or you can use sensors and have them switch on and off when you're in the right position. I think I'm going to knock them all over with this design, because I push them along the ground with the pistons. When I'm putting them back. Yeah. Not having them scrape along the ground would make them more likely to stay upright like the last one did, but 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. That could be worse. Oh man. That's working enough. I do want to try and make it so I don't tip them over every time. Or 2 out of 3. So how would I do that? Without having to modify anything but hinge and piston speeds. I guess the return... Oh, that's how I do it. So these two need to swap their order. The pistons go first, then the hinge goes. Because I think even on the real one, that's how it does it. Oh no, the real one does do the piston last. But it cuts off quicker. This was a better angle. It's a good thing that there are the people who make these videos when you're trying to copy a mechanism. The piston comes back in and the hinge goes up. And yeah, the piston does come out last. But there's a little bit of hinge movement right at the end that does the final little drop, which is a lot more complex to replicate. And I've managed to replicate most of it without doing that. So I'm wondering whether I could push the pistons back out and then drop the hinge. Or I guess I could like toggle the hinges off at a higher angle when doing the deploy. We're doing the put them back thing. So with a couple of event controllers, what I'm thinking is set these up to have high braking torque. Actually, it just needs to be that one. Because that's the only one active, isn't it? But if this is... It's possibly not going to drop the bin square then, which is a problem. Yeah, I was thinking of keeping the hinge, say, up at 85 degrees or 80 degrees. Like having an event controller turn it off there, which will keep it... That should be enough. There should be enough tolerance there. And then once it does the release, it'll do the last little bit. So, let's try that. Just in case I make things not work, let's copy you. So we need an event controller to turn the hinges off, and then I should just be able to turn them on with existing ones that are there. Just got to figure out where this fits into the sequence. Turn bin hinge hold, so this will be rotor hinge angle. It's negative, right? Yeah, negative 85. We'll try. We'll try higher than that. Negative 80, equal to or less than large hinge. Select actions, large hinge. Toggle block off. So that should stop that hinge. My worry is it might stop it so aggressively that the bin ends up hitting the ground anyway, and it's going to make this worse. And then... when the timer block... set up actions. This is doing the grabber hinges. So it's releasing the bin at... Someone's doing the release of the bin. Yeah, I guess that's the one to do. Block on. And that event controller needs to only turn on when the TB, return bin, setup actions, EC, block on, and then it needs to be turned off when the hinges turn back on. The EC can be turned off. Okay. Let's give this a try. The operators here are pretty good, in general. They're also really friendly, like giving Toby a big wave every time. It possibly helps. A lot of the operators here are fairly younger guys, so I imagine the control scheme inside is not terribly different to a console. I am not close enough. But yeah, the guys here are pretty good. I have no complaints about the guys who do the garbage collection here. Alright. Grab. Empty. And put it back down. Uh-oh. There's a slight problem. Empty. No, empty. Wait, what? What did I just do? I just did crap. Empty. Oh, I have confused this thing very much. You definitely hear places here over here, people complaining about the garbage collectors doing stuff, but I just wanted to say that I don't have those issues. Don't want to badmouth the guys that are doing a good job. Am I going to put rubbish in the bins? Yes. I have put rubbish in the bins to test it as already, like just a bunch of plushies. But yes, absolutely. Okay, ready. Grab. Empty. And replace. I mean, it worked. Let's go do it again. Grab. Empty. Is the rubbish going to be Capac clones? Some of them, yeah. I'm sure they will be. And replace. Yeah. It's 2 from 2. Yeah, I wonder if adding some heavy armor to the bottom of the bin might be a good idea to make them a bit bottom heavy. That's 3 from 3. Oh, now I'm too far away. I've jiggled myself away from the bin. Is there a way to make that many ragdolls? Last I checked, no. Last I checked my Capac clone spawner, it was not as, it wasn't working. I haven't tested it in the latest update, though. I think it was 2 updates ago that I last tested it. Alright, we're definitely askew. Let's see how it handles it. Oh, yeah. And Weld, it is coming along really nicely, actually. Oh, that was close to tipping. Oh, I can't believe how well this is working. This should not be working this well. No, Reverend, as mentioned earlier, there is no mass reduction in small grid from switching to plate from armor blocks. They are the exact same mass. They are both one steel plate. Yeah, the truck's gonna have all of the decorative stuff on it. Absolutely. 100%. I want the truck to have to look like a garbage truck, and then you get closer and you're like, why is the scale so weird? And then you climb in the door. Like, I might even, depending on how much time I decide to spend on this process, I could even add like a functional door to the truck and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I want to do all that. Absolutely. So, I do wonder if this will actually make a difference. We go and hide. Actually, maybe we'll just do heavy armor blocks. Find some heavy armor block in the bottom. So if I go info, show center of mass. So center of mass of this bin is down there. Center of mass of this bin is almost up at that midpoint. This one is... okay, it doesn't make much difference. I don't know about the crusher bit. The rear section of this thing, once full of garbage, does need to be able to... like, I want it to be able to hinge up and empty out. At this scale, you'll be the toy soldiers from Small Soldiers. Yeah, yeah, Ensui, 100%. That would be the scale. I remember kind of liking that movie. I don't know that with how Space Engineers does collisions, you'd have much benefit from a concave versus a flat. And if I start adding mass blocks, I start risking this hinge not being able to lift the bin. So I don't want to make the bins so heavy that I can't lift them. And given what I'm doing is working, I'm inclined to just leave the bin as it is. Yeah, crusher pusher might not be required. It may be something I can implement just to make sure that everything gets pushed out when you empty it, but it may not be required. I'm really satisfied with this though. This is working great. Like, properly, it's doing the things. Would it be cheating to have a battery gyro steadying mechanism in the bin? If it were necessary, I might feel okay about it, but it doesn't seem to be necessary. But yes, we should definitely do a demo with some actual stuff in the bin. Just trying to think of the best way to do that so that I can possibly make a bin that has garbage in it already that I can then just paste as a blueprint. I have an idea. I have grabbed the bin from the wrong point. No, I said open. Okay. So if I do this, let's do it in yellow so I know that that's the bit to be deleted. Let's even do it in hazard. So I do this. go 1, 2, 3. Should then be able to put mag plates on here. Oh, wait, I need to... Dang it! I need to do this differently. This needs to go this way first. I have to get the plushies on it first. If I get the plushies on here and get them stuck to all these things, I then should be able to attach this to the bin, create a blueprint with all of it stuck to the bin, and then just paste that blueprint in when I need a full bin. With his current interest, do you think Toby will want to play sanitation engineers too? Probably. He's allowed to like trucks. Trucks are fun. They're big, they're noisy, they do lots of stuff. So yeah, that. Oh, okay, I lost some of them, but that's okay. So now I can go Control Alt, wait, oh yeah, Control Alt B. Now we have bigger wheelie bin 1, which I can paste from a blueprint, and it will come with plushies attached like that. So I can then just do this, bang, 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 and then cut. We got a whole bunch of plushies in the bin. Do a fake crusher by making a container inside and throwing out an orange cube. Yeah, could do that. Let's just paste a few of these so I can do a little bin run. See if this works. It's a bit quicker. It's not as perfect as it... Uh-oh. Could be. Because that happens. I think I need to get rid of all of these blocks at once when I do it. Let's just get rid of that bit. And do one more so I get that one back. No, I wasn't planning on filling it with Spaceballs. We got plushies now. Plushies are better than Spaceballs. Alright, close the bin lids. Oh, hadn't seen the plushies text. Makes sense. That was a thing. Unfortunately, I can't clean up the... Oh no! Don't fall over. I can't clean up all the plushies until I've done this. Because I'll delete the ones that I actually want. So let's try and line these up a bit better. Not that they need to be. They actually can be a bit funny, and I still have... There's a good bit of fudge factor in the way the truck works. Which is awesome. Okay, let's test this. Gotta not connect the tray to the bin with a mag plate and then remove the tray. Yeah, that would probably be quicker, yeah. Yeah, that would be better. Oh, I've set this up now, and it's still quicker than it used to be. Okay, so, we ready. We grab. We empty. We put it back. Oh yeah. Right forward. All right. Grab. Empty. Put it back. Oh, that was close. Grab it. Empty it. Man, I love the physics of round objects like these just flying out of containers. So satisfying to see. Blam. Four from 4. Yes. Oh yeah. 4 from 4. That is awesome. Well, I feel like I achieved. I feel like I'm gonna need someone else to operate the bin so that I can do any recording, like operate the garbage truck, so I can do any sort of recording with this to use it as a be right back screen. Because I can't control this and keep my camera where I would want it to be for the fun shots. So this would have to work in multiplayer, which should be fine, because as host I'll see everything, right? Probably. Maybe? Probably not. I'm sure it'll be fine. 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 Alright, so the remaining stuff I need to do for the truck is make the cab, make the back end. I'll probably make the back end first. So I've got somewhere to tip this stuff. And then with setting up the back, it should just be able to operate maybe even on a large grid hinge at the back there. So I get some nice strength, and then have obviously the cap at the back and everything, because the shape of the truck will end up roughly like this one. That's what I'm aiming for. So this whole section, I think, would hinge at about that point, with then the tail opening up as it tips it out. So that should all be doable. And I reckon I'm going to do that next week after their reveal stream, so I'll plan to have a stream where we do that. Like whatever they're revealing during the stream, I will be streaming after that. It's my normal stream time, so that works out well. But yeah, I will be definitely be doing that then. But yeah, I'll be back on Friday with some more Stationeers in the usual time slot, as well as some more of my economy only run video coming out tonight over on YouTube. There's all that and plenty more to come. And I will see you then. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.